Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review. This time we're reviewing episode 28. After Frieza's defeat, Goku and Vegeta are training on Beerus' planet when an unexpected visitor arrives. It's Champa and Vados! Champa is revealed to be Beerus' twin brother, and the god of destruction for Universe 6, the twin universe of the world that we know, which is apparently Universe 7. Champa, it turns out, is here for a food off, trying to prove that the food in Universe 6 is better than the food in Universe 7. He shows Beerus some eggs from his universe, and Beerus counters with instant ramen from Universe 7. The instant ramen wins. But when Champa realizes that his universe doesn't have an Earth to give him this food, he proposes a tournament. 5 versus 5. Universe 6 fighters versus Universe 7 fighters. The winner gets to keep the Earth, as well as 6 of the Super Dragon Balls, the stronger, original versions of the Dragon Balls. Beerus agrees, and Goku was a bit too excited about this. So, what did I like about this episode? First of all, the introduction, or at least the proper introduction of Champa, and I guess Vados, but mostly Champa. These have been characters who have been hyped up for the last few months, and this is the first episode that really has their formal introduction into the show. And I think it was a very good way to introduce them. I really got all their personalities, and understood who they were and what they're doing and all their motivations. Champa is basically this more fatter, lazier, and a bit more prideful version of Beerus, and Vados is a bit of an enigma right now, but Whis was also kind of an enigma when he was introduced. Beerus and Champa's interactions were really funny, and it really sold the idea that these characters have known each other for millennia pretty much. I also really enjoyed Goku and Vegeta in this episode. Just how they were just looking on at Beerus and Whis and Champa and Vados, and realizing that there are just even more characters are introduced that are stronger than them, and they're just sort of looking at this, just sort of realizing, wow, we're actually not we are not the coolest guys in the universe. There are people who are way stronger than us, and now it turns out there are 13 universes, and in those universes there might be beings who are stronger than us. So it really helped sell the idea that despite everything they've gone through, this story is not over yet, and there are still things they can do. Which really is the best way to start the beginning of technically new materials. By expanding the world and just by showing just how much potential content Dragon Ball has now. With the start of the new arc, Dragon Ball Super is really, if there is one thing that is just prevalent throughout the entirety of, Super's material, it is food. Everything about this show runs on food right now, and it's kind of amazing. Beerus, Beerus is interested in Earth because Earth has tasty food. Whis agrees to train Goku and Vegeta because they gave him food. Champa, it turns out, is now coveting the Earth because of its food. This entire universal tournament that's going to happen is just happening because of food. One of the most mundane things in existence. It's just so entertaining. Just this mixing of the fantastic and the mundane, and it's one thing I just really love about Dragon Ball, and they're just still doing it. As for what I didn't like about this episode, first of all, this episode is almost a repeat, in some points, some of the same dialogue as Chapter 5 of the Dragon Ball Super manga. The Dragon Ball Super manga is fine, and it's actually really enjoyable on its own, but at the same time, I was wondering if Dragon Ball Super was going to do something different, or they were going to reveal things in a slightly different way, but in this case, they just sort of did plot point for plot point. Everything in this scenario was just already in Chapter 5, and I sort of wanted something a bit different. And then there's the fact that this episode is kind of really exposition heavy. There is a lot of just exposition, just who is Champa, who is Vados, what are these universes they're talking about, how do these people know each other, what are different things, why is there food, why is there a tournament, why are Goku and Vegeta in big suits. Actually, well, they do kind of explain that part, but there's a lot of exposition and not much stuff there, but that's kind of unavoidable. Sometimes you just do need an episode that's just explaining the plot of, the next arc, really. And as for next episode, now that this tournament is underway, it's time for the preparations. They've got to work out who's fighting and who's doing what, and how is anyone actually going to get stronger, are they going to get stronger? And also, it turns out one of the members of Goku's team, it looks like will be someone we don't even know and might actually already be stronger than him as well. So that's pretty crazy, and I'm just wondering, I don't know what's going to happen really, because this is new material. So this is all new material, and some of this is in the Dragon Ball Super manga, but other stuff is stuff we've probably never seen before in any capacity, which is kind of like amazing. I mean, we had to wait 6 months for this, but still, it's amazing. So that was Dragon Ball Super episode 28. It was honestly a really, really fun episode. It was a really good episode, and I think it was a really good way to start this arc off. The only issues I have is just I have trouble trying to come up with a proper opinion of it, because most of this is stuff that we saw in chapter 5 of the Dragon Ball Super manga. That is something that came out 3 months ago. So it's hard for me to get an opinion on something that I had an opinion about 3 months ago, and which hasn't really been changed since then. Obviously, there are more things I can talk about in terms of the tournament format and everything like that, but well, considering how little detail we have, just judging by episode 28, I think I'll save my opinions about that until when we start getting more information in the next few episodes. But either way, it's great. It's so great that we've got the new material now, and everyone who's sort of been skimming through Super can now start watching it week by week, because we are not doing movie retellings anymore. And I just need to say, Dragon Ball fandom, I think we need a little collective pat on the backs for sticking through Super for this long. I mean, okay, some of you guys just sort of gave up, but I didn't give up because I've been doing these reviews every week, so I guess I get a pat on the back. Everyone else who's been looking at the things every week also get a pat on the back. And everyone who watches other shonen material which has even more filler, like Naruto guys, Naruto Shippuden fans, you get a bigger pat on the back because you guys have to deal with more than we do. And I'm talking about Naruto Shippuden in a Dragon Ball Super review, so I should probably stop. So this is Gabby, signing out, and I'll see you all next week. Bye guys!